Okay, so I'm going to get us into the recovery part. And you're thinking, well, Teri, you're like bench press, squats. How are you going to recover? Like what's the deal? So we're just going to stand up and I'm going to show you some recovery movements. I'm going to take off my jacket.
Woo, jacket's coming off.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the movement part of recovery. And a lot of people say to me, oh, well, I'm not really that fit, so I don't need to recover. Or I don't really work out, so I don't really need to be mobile or mobility. Well, if you are feeling aches or pains or stiff, you're going to contribute it to a long day, or maybe you're going to contribute it to, oh, this is just getting old. I'm aging. Well, yeah, that's no. So I'm going to show you some things you can do just to feel better and to look better and move better. So we're just going to set our shoulders back. So all of a sudden, we've cleaned up our posture a little bit, yeah? Then I want you to think about just tucking your skirt. So you have a skirt on, it's really short. Yes, Tleen, you do. I've seen you. So just think about that little skirt tuck. All of a sudden, you've cleaned your hips up a bit as well. So it's a roll and a tuck. Yeah? It's good? Because a lot of people will stick their hips right out and do a little bit of a hyperextension back bend. I'm like, hey, just we got to fix that a little bit. So if you're standing for a long time, or you're a shifter or a leaner, just roll and tuck. So just remember that. Did you feel that little bit of adjustment?
Yeah.
Yes? It's not a bend and snap, but yes. I could do that. It's a bend. Mine is a bend and slap, but no, that's for another thing. Okay, so here we are. Posture is good. We're feeling good in that roll and tuck. Good. So we're going to take our thumbs to our shoulders and we're going to lift our elbows out and back. So just feel that little connection in your scapula. So your shoulder blades are kissing a little bit. And now we're just going to take a tip forward, lifting elbows. Oh, I heard that. And we're going to come up. Good. Lift elbows. Inhale. Exhale out. Come on back up. Good. Now we're going to add on this. So we're going to tip at the hip. We're going to let go of those hands. We're going to reach, touch fingers. We're going to pull thumbs back to shoulders and come on up for air. Lift elbows. Take a little tip. Bow. This is the only way I get you guys to bow to me today. sorry. Okay, we're worried. So we're here. All right, and come on up. Okay, I'm going to challenge you in this now. Okay? So I want you to, you're like, this is enough. I want you to lock your seatbelt in the fold. So we're at thumbs. We tucked, we rolled, yes? All right, we're tipping at the hips. Stay here with me. We're going to go over, tap fingers, bring thumbs to shoulders. Let's do that again. Repeat 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Repeat more. Lock that seatbelt. Belly button into spine. And thumbs come on up for air. How'd that feel? Good, let it go. Okay, so what are we doing there? We're recruiting those abs, we're getting the shoulders, we're feeling that hamstrings, those are tight too. And my favorite thing to work, your glutes. Sessions coming up, I'm gonna get into a lot of glute functions and stuff like that. Yes. But for now, I just wanted to show you something really simple you can do. You can also just come up on the toes as well. So that roll, tuck, toes, we forget about our ankles a lot. I do work ankles and things that you don't normally think about in a lot of my programming. So those ankles do so much for you during the day. I know some of those heavy pedal drivers, you're fast and furious and ready down the road. So those ankles are taking a beating as well. Okay, have a seat. Let's get into some juicy stuff with recovery. Yeah. I got the whiteboard for you after. I'll wait for okay? So when we talk about fitness and recovery, I want to be specific with some key things. I always do like 5. I think 5 is a good number because you can go like, okay, she said that, and that. Another reason is I just like keeping things really simple. And so if I can get in your head a little bit, if 1 or 2 things connect, then I'm really happy. A lot of people say to me, oh, well, Teri, it's easy for you. You just feel a certain way and you'll just go work out, or you'll just do it because it's what you need to do. But the thing is, like you, I have life challenges, a lot of them, and family stuff and work stuff and stresses as well. So just because I'm in fitness and I do need recovery, life challenges, trauma, illness, all kinds of things that come your way, your body does a funny thing and it will need recovery. So when you think about how you're treating your body on a day-to-day basis, whether you give it the love and attention you need in a fitness class or any kind of movement, which I love, it's not just strength training, but any kind of movement, you do need to recover. So I want you to think about, are you giving your body what it needs physically? Just general, yes, no, maybe so. Are we? No?
Yeah.
We could be better, right? Yes, okay. Yes, I know you are. Some of you, I've been, kicking your butt a little bit. What could be better? Like, what are you thinking is missing from that piece? That's for next time. Sleep is, we're always tired. Or we feeling old? Is that a thing I'm hearing? My age? Whose age? Time. We can't find enough of it, I know. Yeah.
No, it's sleep.
Sleep.
I can also say I use alcohol
Okay.
to recover.
Recover. Interesting. That tequila bottle, right? Wait.
Gin does not work often.
No, gym. The gym. Did you say the gym or gin?
The gym.
That's with the juniper berry, and there's no protein in that.
Gym.
Yes. No, it's interesting that we reach to something that can kind of numb as well. But if you come to one of my classes, you'll feel numb for a couple of days. No, no, I hear you. There's a lot of stuff. I'm going to talk about, some little tips of the trade. I want to go through some scientific stuff as well, and like hopefully not put you to sleep. And then I'm going to talk about willpower and discipline. They're like cousins, and we can definitely get to the bottom of some of the things in how we're navigating overall health, yeah? So the first thing I want to talk about is the science. And there's a couple things, two things, like really and truly, we're not going to get too diabolical, is the protein synthesis is a huge thing with recovery. And when you think about what you're eating in order to recover, did I spell it right? Yes. Your little wear and tear on the muscles or that breakdown needs to repair. And if you're not eating enough protein, that synthesizing doesn't occur. Alcohol absolutely destroys protein synthesis. There is not one study out there that shows drinking even a little bit, even with a meal, even if I dilute it, and even if it's just a little, it will put you back 2 to 3 days. I'm not the bearer of bad news. I've also worked with people who are like, but I have to have it. And I'm like, then you're not going to get your goals. So just be careful with regards to the alcohol and your protein synthesis, because it does set you back, okay? The other thing about the science is with regards to muscle fibers and how we're working our body is, again, the repair part is when you can actively rest and just leave it to do its thing. So a lot of people overtrain, and they'll constantly keep breaking, and then they've burnt out. So it's really important to think about protein synthesis. So all you're doing to that muscle is you're breaking, repairing, breaking and repairing. And so it's not the fat turning into muscle, it's the muscle taking way more space and cleaning up the fat a little bit, yeah? So just quick, my kin professor would kill me, but a pound of fat and a pound of muscle, what weighs more? Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, good. So one takes up more space. So the fat and the muscle. So when you have a pound of muscle that you build and broke down, and it's tight and it's strong and it's holding your body and it's protecting your skeletal system, that fat is there, but it's also shrinking. So this guy is taking up more of the space and your body comp. So I can, be honest with you, as 145 pounds, but I'm a certain size. Well, a friend of mine, she's 142 pounds, so she's really happy that weighs less than me. But she's a lot bigger, and I love her to death, but I'm like, Mel, I look better than you naked, like, honestly. So at the end of the day, we've been best friends for 30 years. So at the end of the day, it's just your body comp and that protein synthesis taking effect on your muscles, okay? So just think about that. Don't be afraid if you get on the scale and that protein or that muscle mass is, the needle's not moving, know that your body comp it's changing and things are feeling good and moving where they should be, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is with fitness and recovery. When you recover, when you do all the right things, and I'm going to get into a little bit of a laundry list with you, your fatigue actually goes down. So you're not as tired. You will feel the energy to do activities. Okay, so I want you to think about energy creating energy. So the more you do, the more active you are, the better you feel, the better you sleep. Like, it's all cyclical. Has anyone ever experienced that, where the less they do, the more lousy they feel? Could be any time. Yeah. Can anyone speak? Like, when people say to me, "Oh, I just don't want to go to the gym. I'm just too tired." I'm like, or workout, and I'm like, I will feel awful if I don't do that. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of, maybe it's just like a mindset thing, and we'll get into that as well. So has anyone felt like time has gone by and you haven't done anything and you just feel worse, right? And so it's just that, we'll talk about discipline and willpower again. It's just that little mindset that we want to talk about and think about with regards to recovery. Okay, the next thing that's really important, hormonal regulation. All right, so when we recover, when we do what we need to do, hormones are imbalanced, meaning how many people have gone on the step mill or the elliptical or the treadmill for over an hour? Back in the day. Yeah. Back in the day, those days. How many did the 20-minute workout, then Jane Fonda, then you wore leg weights and you booked it to Dominion, right? You went to Dominion with those leg weights on, or Miracle Mart. And then you're like, yeah, at the checkout. Then you get home and you're like Susan Powder with the, whatever, what was that? Summers with the Thigh Master. Then you're like dead to the world because your cortisol levels are through the roof. You can't think straight. You're stressed out. Then you're having low fat this and no protein. It's a mess. So when you properly recover, start thinking about your strategies, maintain your hormones, you're super chill during the day. You're making better decisions. You're choosing wisely. Yeah. So hormone regulation is huge in fitness recovery. So we don't want to overdo it. We want to train smart. We want to do less or be a little bit more efficient with our workouts or our activities. If you're going for a power walk, do some hills. If you're doing cardiovascular, do intervals. If you're doing weights, be sure you have proper posture, technique. You've got a trainer. You give me a call, or you figure out what's right? So you can set yourself up for success. That leads me to injury prevention. This is one of my mandates. My thing, going into my knees, is injury prevention and muscle preservation. I want to make sure you look good and those muscles are chef's kiss, and I want to make sure that you can walk properly and you can function properly. So I must say, badge of honor, most of my members or my clients are primo. They walk well, they move well, they feel good, and if you can do the work and the research and educate yourself on how to move this beautiful vessel, definitely on your fitness recovery journey, injuries will go down, right? So I can't help you with the broken heart, but we can talk about it. We can talk about, placements of your feet, your posture, things like that. So really important to think about. We take for granted that we are in fine form now, but as we age, there's no excuse for us to be moving well. That is like a myth and a fallacy, and I will not buy it when people say, but I'm old. It's funny, I remember my grandmother, she lived well into her 90s, bless Nona, and she would say, Teri, don't become old like me. And I'm like, come on, Nona, get up, we're going for a walk. And she'd like follow behind me and she'd feel so great after and make me a great bowl of minestrone with legumes. And you would see her light up and I'm like, see, Nona, this is how we gotta go. Let's do this. And I'd, buy her like the cutest little velour outfit. And she was just like with the rockin' leopard print sneakers. I didn't care. She was like, this is too much. I go, no, let's go. And my Nona was like 90 and she's booking it with me down the street. So it's all in really who you're being and how you're thinking, your mindset, right? Okay, lastly, fitness and recovery. This is your life support. This is your whole approach to wellness, okay? So I want you to think about things you can do to move well. You can use tools. So you've got foam rollers, people have the Theraguns. I actually know clients who have so many things that I could like fill up a whole gym with all the things they have, yeah? So it's almost like we have too much stuff for recovery, right? There's like this chair thingy stretchy, and I'm like, Lisa, what is that? She's like, it's like a stretching thing. And I'm like, okay. So I have people who have inversion tables. I have people who have all kinds of like gadgets. So if you have those tools, use them consistently. Another thing is resources online. There's a plethora, yeah? You're just like, oh, I saw this, I read this, they told me that. There's so many things out there with recovery. My recommendation would be to pick one or two and just stick with it and just see how it works for you. What works for me might not work for you, but just give it a try, because at least it's something in the right direction to give your body what it needs to recover. And then you've got your community. Maybe you want to connect with someone or do things together. Just check in. Maybe I say, you know what, Becky, you shouldn't be doing, 5 hours of, Orange Theory or whatever it is. Maybe you need to take a rest day, or just, check in with each other or with your friends if you think they might be overdoing it a little bit. Okay? So, yes, my dear.
How are you rest in the
Rest.
career? So particularly I'm thinking of my son, he's younger.
Mm-hmm.
He's got into this habit and has to exercise every single day, practice every day.
Yep.
And I guess there's a difference between training
Yep.
and lifting weights.
Yep.
So if he lifts does upper body work, and then the next day he does legs, is that enough of a recovery? And he refuses to take one day off. Is that going to be sports?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I to be honest, like it's probably not like at a super elite level. So I'd probably be okay with it. And I have to say, I'm really focusing on, obviously, us, our mature crowd. But I have to tell you, I don't think our teens and kids do enough. So I wish more kids would do what your son did.
But he's doing it, yes.
Do you know what I mean? I think they've really dumbed down the activity for our kids.
Oh, yes.
And so that would be like a
Normal.
a golden standard.
No.
No, if he's resting, he's good, and you're feeding him well, we're good. Yes.
Is there something like active recovery?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, active recovery is like walking, yoga, stretching, swimming, biking, rowing, things that are lower impact. All those are really good, and you don't need a long time to do recovery or active. So if you need to blow your brains out 5-6 days a week training, do add a recovery day if you need to, which is a little lighter workout, okay? Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about discipline. Who kind of struggles with that? I'm almost done. Talk to me about it. Talk to me about discipline. Why is that D word so bad? Tell me. What do you think it is?
Distractions, did I hear?
What is it?
Distractions?
Oh, it's a distraction?
Obligations.
Oh, obligations. It's funny what we think are obligations. No, exactly, yes. It's hard to say no, yes? Who has a hard time saying no? Yeah? We're talking about boundaries. No, for sure. So with discipline really is about sticking to your habits, and not bad ones either. So if you choose to do something, you need the discipline to just stick with it, quite simply. That's it. That's all. And just be relentless about it. And don't let anything get in your way. Maybe if you remember my schedule, you put it in your calendar. Green means go. that's your habit. So, just add it to your laundry list of things, and that's your recovery day, or that's your thing that gets you on the path for your list. And then willpower, the good old cousin. Talk to me about Will. What happens there? He's a bastard. Willpower? Anyone? Is it? You have good
Do it
willpower?
anyways,
Yes, you
yes.
do. I know you do, Heather. Anyone? Does anyone want to contribute on their willpower, meaning how they're executing the habits and how they're making good choices? Because that's willpower. Will is a choice.
Don't have the,
The will, you have the will in the way is your choice. Are you making good choices?
don't have the naughties in your house.
No naughty.
No
What's
naughties
his
in the
name?
house.
Naughties.
Nutties? Naughty?
Naughty.
Right.
Anything naughty.
Yeah. If it's there, you tend to get it, go for it. I have chocolate from like last Easter and they're like, why is it still in the
Could
fridge?
be.
I'm gonna get rid of it.
But it also takes a while in terms of, cheap chocolate bars.
Yeah. Yeah, I do splurge.
Halloween bars.
Yeah.
Halloween bars. Okay, so all that is basically sugar. Once your body knows that that's sugar, you're not going to be fooled. But right now, most of us get fooled because
Yeah.
it tastes amazing, but then, oh, it's just so crappy because I feel crappy.
Yeah.
Or that it's the taste of cheap sugar. So it's a discipline. It takes time, and your body eventually, I
Yeah.
can't have so much. I'm not even going to go for it because I know I'm going to feel bad
Yeah.
or awful. In terms of exercise, I can give my little 2 cents.
Yes.
I always, instead of I make excuses to not go, I make excuses to go. Like, I have to go. I have to find excuses to go. Because I know if I don't go, I feel worse if I don't go.
Yeah, no, that's good.
This is
Yeah.
it. It
Thank
is
you.
it.
It's good. Yes. She's definitely my poster child for that. So I'm just going to leave you with consider, a couple of good choices, stick to it. So you've got will and discipline, and then slowly chip away at